Hello from the Oklahomans Video Studio. I'm Helen Wallace with Parties Extra, which is brought to you by our sponsor, Party Galaxy. Marion, Paden, and Leanne Stone are here today to talk about Leadership Oklahoma. Welcome, you all.
Thank you very much. We're glad to be here.
Well, Marion, I'm so excited that you're the new head of Leadership Oklahoma. You have so much energy, and they are so lucky to have you.
Oh, well, I feel really blessed that they've asked me to join their staff there.
Well, tell us what you've been doing so far.
Well, so far, today makes my 30th day, so far I've been finding out where to park and how to sharpen my pencils for the most part. But just really getting to know the staff. I've gotten to meet Leanne, who works with us at Leadership Oklahoma, as well as Allison Carson and Tina Baird. We're a small but mighty staff, I would say, all four of us there, and getting to know the board.
You've had your first board meeting.
I did. I had my first board meeting a week ago today.
Wow.
And there are upwards of 80 people potentially at a board meeting. We have all of our past chairs.
80 on your board? Oh my.
But there are about 40 active board members, and then about 20 on an advisory cabinet, and about 20 past chairs that could attend. We had about, 30 there, I think.
We had a big group.
They all wanted to meet you.
I think they did.
And she passed.
Oh, good. Good to know.
And you had your first finance meeting?
I did. We had our first finance meeting, and that was interesting because, of course, we run on a fiscal year that's July 1 to June 30. So my first finance meeting was really about last fiscal year, and so going forward, it'll be July 1 going forward. But we're in a great position financially with the organization.
Marion, and I think you got to introduce the next class coming up. Is that correct?
I
To your
did.
board or to your, I don't know who you introduced them to.
Well, actually, that was one of the first privileges I had, was to release the names of the 51 people from across the state who will make up Class 29 of Leadership Oklahoma.
Really? Class 29. Well, you're getting ready for orientation for that group too, and so what does Leadership Oklahoma do?
Well, it does a number of things, doesn't it? We have actually two main programs. One is the adult program, and one is the youth program. And Leanne is the chair and director of our Youth Leadership Oklahoma program. So I'll let her speak about that. But the other program is the adult program, or the signature program that's been around for 29 years. And it is a competitive application selection process for people from across the state of Oklahoma that then come together 9 times a year, focused on different issues that are facing our state. The idea is that Oklahoma leaders need to come together and understand the issues that are facing our state so that we have a common understanding, we can address those issues collectively to make Oklahoma the leader. Our tagline is Oklahoma leaders making Oklahoma the leader. That's our intent.
So rural and urban come together.
Absolutely. And north and south and east and west and central and mid-north, everywhere, yes. From Guyman to Broken Bow to throughout the state.
And you have a huge alumni, or do you call them alumni people?
We do call them alums because everyone that successfully completes the program, they graduate and become a member of the organization. We actually have 1,430 individuals who have completed the program. Many of those have remained in Oklahoma and are active in our alumni or network. We really call it the network more than we call it the Alumni Association. And in the network, there are a number of people from 161 different cities in the state of Oklahoma.
Is that right? Well, okay, so you'll be at St. Crispin's for your orientation, and you will learn that you go to different cities. So what cities will you be visiting, and what do they have planned for you?
Well, for the adult program this year, we're right. We start at St. Crispin's. We do that in the first part of September, and shortly then after we go to Lawton. We actually stay on the base of Fort Sill, and we understand what the impact the military has on Oklahoma.
You stay in the barracks?
We stay in the barracks. Don't tell anybody. We also have to get up at 5:30 in the morning and do physical therapy. No, PT,
physical training.
Physical training. I may need physical therapy afterwards, maybe what that is. So we got Lawton, and then after that we'll be a guest of the Chickasaw Nation in Sulphur to understand tribal government and water issues. And then after that, we actually come to Oklahoma City and learn about state government. We go to Tulsa, we'll be in Bartlesville. We actually go all the way to Guyman to understand about agriculture and immigration and the impact that has on our state. Energy in Bartlesville, Health and Human Services in Tulsa.
So Leadership Oklahoma is all about producing good leaders.
That's our intent, and a really good understanding of the issues facing the state.
Well, then we have the youth program.
Yes.
So, Leanne, tell us what it's called. Leadership Oklahoma Youth?
It's called Youth Leadership Oklahoma.
Youth Leadership
we
Oklahoma.
just finished our 15th class, so we're going into class 16. And basically what we do is it's an application process as well, and we take the top 50 high school juniors in high school, and they apply, and it's a super competitive program. We get so many applications. And our program isn't really a leadership program. They're supposed to already be kind of proven leaders based on their applications and what they've done in their communities and such. And so we take the top 50, they're the cream of the crop of the state, and we take them on a week-long trip as opposed to like what the adults do, a weekend a month for 10 months. We take them on a week-long trip the second week of June, and we start in Oklahoma City, and we go down to Lawton, and we circle back around to Ada, and we just visit everything that we can in 1 week. The point is, these are going to be our future CEOs and our senators and our presidents of organizations, and we want them to see how great Oklahoma is because they're going to be the ones running the state, and we want them to stay here, and we want to show them how great
We do
the state
want
is.
them to stay here.
Yes, I want them to take care of me.
So you've just recently had that.
We did.
It's
It
called the
was
Summit or something?
Oh, we had a summit. So after the program ends, 3 years ago, we started a summit and a reunion. And we just invite everybody from every class to come back for one night, and we have a speaker, and they just get to network with each other. It's really sort of a reunion and an excuse for them to get together. We had head coach Sherry Cole from OU Women's Basketball.
She's just wonderful with the kids.
I had never heard her speak in a setting like that, and I mean, everybody was hanging on her every word. She was amazing. We were so honored to have her, and I think everybody took a lot from her speech. And you know, it's hard to find a speaker who can speak to somebody who's still in high school and then somebody who's in their, you know, mid to late 30s in the group, meaning over the last 15 years, and she nailed it. She did so good.
So the high schoolers, do any of them come to the Leadership Oklahoma
We have
program?
had in the past one person from class 1 or 2 apply to the adult program, but I mean, any day now, they're of age now, the first few classes, so at any moment we should have.
So they're learning to network too. I mean, they get together, and that's an intense week, I imagine, because they're busy all the time,
Yes.
and they're getting to know each other.
Yeah.
And
They're getting to know each other. These are kids they're going to run into forever. And it's really neat when I get an email that says, hey, guess who I'm rooming with at OU, or guess who I'm rooming with at OSU, and it's one of somebody that they roomed with during the week they were with us. So they're going to run into these people in jobs, and it's just, they're just great. They can exchange ideas and just really feed off of each other. It's really awesome.
Well, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
I think that's great. I didn't really realize you had that.
Yeah.
Well, it's really intentional too, because it's the same sort of thing. The selection process requires that they have representatives from across the state. So it's not just all the really best and brightest from Oklahoma City or Tulsa or Muskogee or McAllister. It really is a cross-section of people. So they meet people different from themselves, people who have different backgrounds and different interests and different faiths and different beliefs. And so it really is an opportunity for them to learn about people who are different from themselves at a pretty young age.
One of my favorite things we do is every night we pick their roommate, but they have a different roommate every night. So for 5 nights, I mean, you really get to know somebody when you're spending the night with them. So they really get to, we try to pair up, okay, this person's from Guyman. They've probably never met this person from Tulsa. Let's put them together for a night. And that's the really fun part, is to see those friendships
So you
form
have
from
some
that.
plans going there. That's pretty good.
It's pretty awesome.
So next year is going to be your 30th year.
It is.
So you're probably starting to think about what's next.
We are. We're really starting to think about when Leadership Oklahoma was formed, if you will. That was Leadership Oklahoma 1.0, and then about how many years? 15 years ago, you said, we added the youth program. So if you will, that's kind of Leadership Oklahoma 2.0. Well, going forward with the next phase, what are we going to look like, and what do we want to do next? What's the area of deliverable that we want? And we began a conversation last week with the board to just see what we want to do, how we can deliver continued programs and services that will make a difference in the state of Oklahoma. I'm not sure what that looks like in day 30. I'm not quite sure that I know what that looks like.
That totally under control.
Not quite, not quite.
We'll let you know.
that I'm confident that with the board and with the strong history and legacy that we have as an organization, I'm convinced that whatever we come up with, it'll really make a difference and it'll be something exciting.
Well, they're lucky to have you to help implement it, that's
Thank
for
you.
sure. So you all have, you say you have an office. Where's your office?
Our office is at 5500 North Western, Suite 142, right there where the construction used to be on Western.
So do you have a staff? You have a staff?
Very small staff. We have, there are 3 full-time people that work in the office.
And parties? You have parties? You
We
have
have
a Christmas
parties.
party and a...
We have the best party.
We have the best parties. We have holiday parties, but we also have very intentional reunions, to use your word, with speakers. We're getting ready to have one in Stillwater that'll be on unmanned aerial vehicles so that we can understand what that impact is going to be on the state of Oklahoma, from the private user to FAA to just the individual and things related to journalism and the news media. So that's one of the things we'll do. We do a number of programs throughout the year.
How nice. That's really cool. Okay, well, anything else about the youth or anything else you want to say about being on board?
Youth applications will go online in September.
And online is what?
leadershipoklahoma.com, and they are due back in the Leadership Oklahoma office on December 1st. So just be checking our website for the youth application.
Okay, and the date again?
December 1st is when they're due.
Okay.
In September, they'll be online.
Okay. And what about your next class?
Well, we get through that process first.
Yes.
we need to do that because it is a very intense process. But our applications for the adult program will be due in the spring, and we'll do that selection in early April, and the board will approve it in May, and then we'll get to announce it next year in
And
June.
it is competitive,
Very,
both.
very.
So there are a lot of people really that want to.
But they can go now and look at, see what the application looked like last year. They're very similar year to year. So there's an essay component of that. We would encourage people not to procrastinate.
Wait till the last minute.
Do not wait till
What's
the last
the essay
minute.
question?
Well, there is sort of an essay question about what you think the future of Oklahoma should be, and what would your role be in that, and what kind of support do you need from the network to help accomplish that. So it really is it's an opportunity for you to articulate your vision.
Do you have a separate website?
No, we share.
And you all keep that up to date. I noticed that. You're moving all the time on that thing.
Well, we're trying
Changing
to. It's
things
a little
out.
hard right
Okay, anything else?
now. No, ma'am, but glad to be here.
Well, great bonding goes on in this group, I think. People become friends for life. I really
Absolutely.
think that's what happens. And Oklahoma leaders are trained very well. So have a great time with your new job, Marion and Leanne. Keep us informed about Leadership Oklahoma Youth.
Got it.
Thank you.
Very good. Thank you.